All right. I'm joined by Mrs. Boyama.
Yes.
Welcome to the podcast.
Thank you.
The nice thing about you is at least now we are sort of colleagues of some sort. You're also a host of a podcast.
Oh yeah, and it also feels good to be on the other side of the
Chair.
Yes.
Yeah. So please give a shout out to your podcast so that at least they can sort of check it out as well.
Okay, so it's just my YouTube channel, Happy Boyama. Actually, all my social media platforms. I thought we were actually gonna do this at the end of the podcast, but it's fine. So Happy Boyama, Instagram Happy_Boyama. So literally Facebook Happy Boyama, TikTok Happy Boyama. But on TikTok I'm more vernac than anything.
Sure.
But it's like cooking stuff and alles. And the podcast on my YouTube, which is also on Spotify, but I haven't really marketed it. Or it's just an introduction video that is there. It's I am a graduate. So it's literally more or less the same thing that we're actually doing here.
Yes.
So yeah, it's just that I think you are more focused on professionals. So with me, it's like, even if you're not a professional, for as long as you're a graduate, come here.
Sure.
So yeah,
Sure.
Happy Boyama.
Awesome. So you've heard it, everyone who's listening, please go check it out and give it a like. And it's good to know that you're also doing something similar to what we're doing. And we can sort of cross-pollinate our listeners.
Yeah.
If you understand what I mean. So
and you must go subscribe as well. You haven't subscribed.
Yes.
Thank you.
I will.
Thank you.
So with that said, please introduce yourself and what you do.
Okay, my name is Happy Boyama. Married. I'm not sure if this is part of the introduction.
It's very much important
but
to
I
edit.
have to put it out there.
Yeah.
Taken. So yeah, I currently what do I do in terms of profession?
Yes,
because I do a lot of things. I do breathing for a living.
Yes, please do that. Explain everything.
I have a whole lot of things that I'm doing. I'm a mom. I have businesses, small businesses, but they soon becoming big. I make magwinyane, and I actually have your order in the car. So I do that, and I'm currently a legal advisor at the legal insurance company. So in terms of profession, that's what I'm currently doing, and yeah. I think that's more or less what I'm doing. Yeah.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Yeah, I think we're gonna get into the legal insurance and legal advisor part.
Okay.
So what brought you to understand wanting to do law?
To be honest, should I tell you the honest truth?
As honest as possible. Yeah.
I loved the black and white. The uniform. I can say it's the uniform because literally that's what lawyers wear. So when I would see it on TV, I'm like, hi, I'm a lawyer, most me. And also, growing up, I was very talkative, still am. I'm sure you've noticed that. Pick that up. So talking too much, or people always say, oh, you are a lawyer. No, you talk too much. Only to find out, hey, the talking doesn't really help much. You just need to know what is it that you need to talk. Exactly.
Sure.
So yeah, I think what drew my attention to doing law, the first thing was the black and white. Listen, I saw myself dressing on those
Were you wearing black and white at high school?
No, not even. But yes, we would. No, high school, no. But primary school, yes. So, but when I see it, I'm like, hi, I'm definitely a lawyer. I'm definitely seeing myself, wearing black and white. But another thing that made me do law is, so I applied. I applied at university. And when I applied, law was my first choice at UWC.
Sure.
And teaching was my second choice.
Okay.
But at UJ, teaching was my first choice.
Okay.
But they took me for a program that I didn't want. So, and I also didn't want to be in Joburg because I grew up there. Growing up meaning I started high school there. So I was like, no, I'm not staying here anymore. I have to go. And law was my first choice. They accepted me for law at UWC. So I was like, Cape Town it is.
Let me go, yeah,
So
sure.
yeah. So that's the reason why I did law.
So you start studying it. How is it like? Any shocks? And any advice that you can give a graduate now? No, a student now. Sure.
My experience with law. So because I wanted to do teaching in the first place, first test I failed, legal systems. I don't know if it's still there because this is 10 years ago. I'm old. Okay. 10 years ago feels weird. So
Sure.
I failed legal systems. I'm like, definitely I'm not doing this. I didn't understand what was going on. So my mind was not even there. I literally went to the Department of Education or the Education faculty I got lost.
So it was actually serious. You
It
wanted
was
to just
serious.
to live law.
But now I can't leave because it's literally Feb,
Sure.
March, when we're actually doing our first term. I can't
Oh
remember.
yeah, the term exams in March. March,
Tests.
April. Yeah, sure.
I failed. I'm like, nah, I'm not doing this. Went to education with hoping that I might find something there. And I got lost. I was like, God, this is a sign. I'm a lawyer.
Sure,
And I
sure.
couldn't go.
Yeah.
So I was like, okay, that's fine. So the experience at first for me was bad. I didn't like it. I didn't hear it. At the end of the day, I even failed, I think, 2 modules. One, I got a SAP. Yeah, it was too much. So the experience wasn't so nice. But I feel it was simply because my mind was not into it. Otherwise, it wasn't that. It was as difficult because when I did my second year, I was serious. And I did well. To a point where I even got a merit award because I passed
You
so
got?
well. A merit award.
What is that?
It's like the money or the bursary you get because you did well.
Oh, nice.
Yes.
Congratulations.
Thank you. I mean, it's 9 years ago. It doesn't matter now. But yeah. So it wasn't as difficult. So it was difficult at first. It was difficult at first because my mind was not really into that. And after I was like, I'm actually a lawyer, started taking it seriously, and I actually did well. So, but the advice I would give really is that just read. If you don't like reading, you'll definitely fail.
Do well, yeah, sure.
You won't do it if you don't like reading. Number 2, you need to keep updated. Not that I kept updating myself with news. I mean, who wants to watch news? Okay, we do watch news, but it's not
Sure.
like in varsity, it's a lot of things. Watching news feel like you literally just wasting time. So you just need to be, in short, read a lot and read a lot and read a lot.
100%.
Yes.
So I think your story is actually very interesting because you're saying that at first you sort of wanted to leave, but you get this award of saying that you did very well, which is very good.
Thank you.
But on top of that, you actually do your masters.
Yes.
Please explain how was your masters and what were you studying in your masters?
So, because I've always wanted to be a teacher, I did my master's because you can be only be a lecturer if you have your master's. I am not sure in other institutions such as colleges. However, I do know that a minimum requirements for being a lecturer is your LLM. So we call it LLM in law.
Okay.
So it's a master's. So I was like, actually, let me do this thing. And I actually got a scholarship when I was doing my master's in 2019. And the scholarship, I was a graduate lecturing assistant. So the scholarship was paying for my fees and paying me at the same time. So I was like, this is quite cool. And I actually got to experience how teaching might look like, although we were more like tutors as graduate assistants.
Yes.
But it felt like, okay, I'm in a class and I have students and I'm talking to them and it feels good. So that's what happened. So I did my master's in Immigration and Refugee Law. That is my research. But coursework, I did children's rights, family law, international family law, and international protection of human rights.
What's the difference
The difference?
between coursework and your LLM? I don't know.
Okay, so LLM is inclusive of the coursework and the research.
Okay.
So there are modules, which is coursework, and there is a research paper, your
Oh,
dissertation.
I think I understand. So that means
Yes.
there is coursework is the actual modules, and
yes.
then the research is the
It's like the dissertation
Understand,
that you
I
submit.
understand. Sure.
Yes. So I did those as coursework, and my paper was on refugee law, basically immigration and refugee law.
Sure.
Unless you want me to talk about what I wrote about, nah, I don't
Yes,
talk
please.
about it.
So I want us to just give me an overall experience of your masters, the research. How was it? If there's someone who wants to continue their studies after getting their LLB,
Yes.
what advice can you give them? And please go into what you were doing in the
research.
immigration. Yes.
Okay. I will. So, okay, the experience. Masters is difficult.
Okay.
It feels like, and it's not even on the supervisor or on you, it's just the process itself. It feels like you're writing something and then someone comes and they'll be like, nah, this is not it. Remove this. include this, put this, and it comes back. When you edit a paper, there's those things that we call track changes. I think that's the correct name, where they put a highlighted red, different
sure,
colors,
sure.
and then on the side you get a comment. And they're like, you did not check this. Okay, check this. Do this. It's like, okay, because you give it your all. Personally, I gave it, and a whole lot of people that did their masters would literally attest to this. You give it your all, because sometimes you will read an article that is like 20 pages only to get 2 lines and just one reference, and after that, supervisor is like, nah, it's not it. I'm like, but I spent an hour. I spent like 3 hours trying to read up. Sometimes you realize the whole paragraph needs to move. Then you also need to remember there is bibliography, and now you need to remove those references. Like, but I read this, but I spent time on this. It's painful. So the process itself, whether you have a good or a bad supervisor,
sure,
the process is brutal. At least I found it brutal. And but it just needs. So personally, I'm one person who does what needs to be done. I don't do what I feel like doing, even if I don't feel like waking up and writing. But if I need to wake up and write, I wake up and write.
Sure.
So the process was, for lack of a better word, was brutal. But I managed, and I feel like it requires a lot of focus, a lot of discipline as well. Not easy, because I mean, I could do with another 30 minutes of sleep, and you need to wake up, and because those comments won't let you sleep. Literally, you will wake up, your problems
sure,
your problems will definitely wake you up in the middle of the night.
Yeah.
So it was hectic. And if someone would want to do it because you know why you want to do it. If you do it because of peer pressure, or you want to do it because you have nothing to do, you definitely won't.
You won't last.
Yeah, you won't last, because.
So why did you want to do it?
I wanted to be a lecturer. Still do.
I think you did mention that. Yes. So
yes. Sure. So, and also for me, I feel like just a degree, I'm a dropout. I need to.
LLB is not enough.
Listen, no, not for me.
Yeah.
I feel like I'm a dropout. Even now that I have a master's, I'm like, I could do, I can actually register for NLB,
doctorate, yeah, sure.
For doctorate, yeah. Like I could be a doctor, Listen to this, Dr. Boyama. How does it sound?
There you go. No, it actually rolls with the tongue, yeah, sure.
Exactly. So I did it because I just felt, so I had quite a few reasons, but the pressing one was that I want to be a lecturer.
100%. And I mean, like you said, law and teaching sort of just became some form of a destiny for you.
Yes.
Sure.
So I did it for that, and also just so that I don't feel like a dropout. And the last thing would be because I don't know, it was also another available thing that I could do at that moment. But I didn't do it because I didn't have something else to do, because then you probably wouldn't last because of that reason. So I did it for those mere reasons.
So you get your LLB. Do you now decide to start practicing law, or what happens in your next step in your career?
So after I did my LLB, I did my LLM 2019, and I started my LLM 2019, which is my master's. 2020, I actually worked as a candidate attorney.
Okay.
I did my articles. So articles is not a paper and a pen where we write something and we publish it as articles. There's so much confusion in that. Oh, you did articles. How many articles did you do? No, yeah. I'm not talking about writing articles. So articles, I think in engineering terms, you guys would call it in-service training.
Sure.
Like
it's
practical.
Like an internship or some sort, yeah.
Kind of.
Okay.
So I did my articles 2020 and 2021, if I'm not mistaken. I also did law school. So this is how it works. I hope I won't confuse people.
Please
so
explain,
articles, you ought to do them for 2 years. Ne? But if you do law school, the 1 year falls off. You do a year and the 6 months of law school. So it kind of I don't want to say replaces the year, but it's like you end up doing 1 year, 6 months, which is the year of articles, which is the practicals, and then you do the 6 months. So I did that. I didn't do the 2 years of articles because I did law school.
Okay.
So yes, so that's what happened. 2020, I did that and also did my law school. And after that, I then got admitted. I wrote my board exams. So in order to be admitted as an attorney of the High Court, you have to do board exams. It's 4 of them. My friend.
Zakala.
Ziakala is an understatement. Listen.
Sure.
I even fainted at some point.
Are you serious?
Yeah, I went to do an oral. Literal fainting. Okay, my husband told me I fainted because we got home. He took me to do the oral and then I failed. So the oral results, they tell you on the spot. They told me, nah, try next year. It was November. I think the 7th of November. Literally, I couldn't. But I feel what contributed to that was that I was pregnant. So I fainted. I don't want to deviate much.
Shame.
So yeah, I mean, it's all in the past. So it was that those exams are not a joke.
Child's play,
Listen,
sure.
they are dangerous.
Is it the thing where if you fail one, you have to start all over again, or
No.
if you pass,
You pass it, you're done.
Okay.
So there are 4.
Okay.
So you are.
What I'm asking is, you have to pass them 4 of them at the same time that 1 year.
So no, you don't have to. You can register one. So
Okay.
there are 2 sittings in a year. One I think is in March and one in August / September.
Okay.
So you can do one in March, or you can do all 4, or you can do 3. It's up to you. You literally can divide them anyhow. You can even do
100%.
one this year and not register in the second intake, and you register. It's up to you. You don't have to do all 4 at once.
100%.
So yeah, that's what happened. So I did those. I passed, and then I got admitted.
You were still sorry for that. You were still
It's all right.
explaining how hard it is. Please just try to give someone who wants to be a lawyer an idea of how hard it is and how to actually how to pass. Because I mean, you passed
did.
and you're admitted.
I am.
So yeah, please just give someone an understanding in terms of what to expect. You can be as technical as possible. It's not for me, it's for them.
Okay.
And for your colleagues as well.
Yes,
Sure.
those that want to follow suit. So it's difficult in the sense that, number one, it's a lot of work. It's a lot of work. And it being a lot of work, I would understand if it's just a lot of work where you just need to sit and cram if you can cram, or where you just need to sit and read if you are good. For example, I have a photogenic memory, but that still didn't help because it's a lot of complicated work, some papers. But some people find some papers easy. For example, I found paper 4 so easy. Literally, I passed on the first take, and I kind of passed it, and I got like 84%. And some people would write that thing 10 times, and I'm like, I don't understand it. But also, I failed paper 1. So paper 1 is court procedures.
Okay. Yeah, that's what I want you. I want you to get to as much detail as possible.
Okay.
So that at least like a student understand, okay, this is when you say that you're admitted. So this is paper 1, this is what paper 1 is.
Okay.
And this is what you should expect, then paper 2. If you can get to that detail, at least, even for me, because I think I've had several lawyers and they've sort of explained, and I like how you're explaining it because it sort of gives me an understanding of what it means to be a lawyer and the process of becoming a lawyer.
Yes.
So if you can explain like what is paper 1, what is it about?
Okay.
And also if you have stories, throw in some stories there as well.
I have stories for days.
Sure.
Okay. So paper 1. So there are 4 papers, as I mentioned previously. The paper 1 is court procedures. So that's where you learn about the rules of the courts, merge court, high court. I won't really like go deep because I mean it's a whole lot of things. We might spend about 3 hours trying to get to whatever we are doing because we still have quite a few things. We still have quite a few things to go through.
Yeah.
So there's paper 1, that's court procedures. Normally people that are in practice, like when you're doing your articles, you actually learn those, and you even get your criminal law, you even get your motor vehicle accident, like RAF.
Road accident fund, yeah, sure.
Yes, and then In paper one, what else? I don't also wanna like mix things because I've done
It's been a long time,
you know what I mean. So also yeah, criminal law I did mention. So it forms part of paper one, and yeah, the rules. It's a lot of rules to know, to understand for exams, because you don't have so much time for you to kind of get through them and be able to like write. And I found it difficult, but some people would literally say, paper one, are you crazy? Please do comment if you found paper one, if there's someone who is admitted and found paper one very easy. I, for one, hey, listen, paper one was a lot. This is the paper that made me faint. Okay, moving right along. Paper two is wills and estates. I loved it. So this is where we talk about like literally wills, how to draft a will, what is a will, but other things as well. Like, so it deals with like the deceased estate, the reporting and documents, blah, blah, blah. So it's literally just that. Your intestate succession. So intestate succession is when you die without a will, what happens to your estate and things like, so it's a whole thing.
100%.
And then there's paper three. This is like it's ethics.
Sorry, just talking about wills and how important is it? Because I mean, the reason why I'm asking this is lots of our listeners, some of them don't have wills.
Yes.
And it's important for when you're especially young adults as us.
Yes.
You need to have a will in place. Please just explain how important a will is, and at least I feel like it will be helpful for someone who's sort of listening.
Yes. A will. So you know what? I didn't do law to give free legal advice. I'm joking.
We're going to be charging you. I'll be charging the listeners.
This is not even legal advice. But guys, like, I cannot emphasize enough how important it is to have a will, because I don't want to be racial or whatever the word you can use or whatever. Ne?
Sure.
But us as Black people, we have a lot of stories, especially when someone dies. Even bo Kotim Nene, now Kotim Nene is like a little brother to
your father.
To your father.
Yes.
The moment someone dies, people just feel the need to come and take things. And so if you have a will, I'm just trying to show how important it is. If you have a will, it's a paper, it's signed, it's valid. Yes, obviously, if it's valid, it has to meet certain requirements. I'm not going to touch on that. If it's there, it's there. No one can ever come and say, oh, no, I need this. He was my brother. Because sometimes, especially for wives, when a husband dies, the brothers, if the husband will even die without children, you are in I don't know.
It's a big problem, yeah,
yeah,
sure.
So it's very important for one to have a will, because when you are gone, Mapungori, who gets what doesn't really become an issue. So I would highly recommend. Okay, I also don't have one, and I'm telling people, but also if you don't do what I
say,
I don't know. Do what I say, don't do what I do. I don't know. But it's very important.
Sure.
Because sometimes some cases you realize this wouldn't have been an issue if there was a will.
If the will was there in place, sure.
Yeah.
Now, I thank you so much for sharing that, because I do have a financial advisor, and she keeps on telling me, Shepard, you need to sort out your will.
Yes.
And she's always on my neck. The guys, and I feel like as professionals, this is sort of a very much important thing to talk about now.
It
so
is.
at least now it's out there. If we don't do it, it's up to you. But we have
Exactly.
our resident lawyer here.
Even if you just have a laptop, just put that laptop on the wheel. Should it die tomorrow?
I'm telling you.
You know, because someone can come and say, I want this laptop. And your wife is like, but what do you mean? You know,
Sure.
so you don't want such issues.
100%.
So yeah, so that was paper two.
Paper 2, yes.
Paper three is ethics. Ethics is like the professional ethics, ethics, literally ethics.
Sure.
It's a whole lot of things. I didn't like it. A lot of people are failing it. Paper three. I passed it, but I still can't.
So you sort of didn't like it, but
I didn't like it, but I understood it to pass it.
I think you did say that if you have to do something, you just do it.
I do it.
There you go.
So, and also, you know what I feel is a bit of an issue is that with exams, I think this goes to every profession.
Sure.
With exams, you actually write and pass, but when you start to do the real work, is nothing
So there's a huge gap between what you study and what you practice.
Not necessarily.
Okay.
I don't want to separate the two. The studying was actually like, obviously, is every studying is literally like the bridge to where you are now and things like that. But some things, man, you don't get. For example, in these papers, you do family law, you do criminal law, but sometimes you can work as like a commercial law lawyer. So things like that. For me, I feel like they could just ask us, like, what do you want to do? Obviously, you still don't know. Especially when you're fresh from university, you don't really know. But at least, that would be my choice. If I say I want to do family law or I want to be a commercial law lawyer, they must just let me be and only let me write commercial.
Sure.
Because it's quite a lot. But those exams are very important because it also gets to give you a taste of what you might come across in practice,
100%.
which is amazing. So I think they are important and I like them. I just didn't like them for the sake of passing because when you fail, it's not nice. So yeah, I guess every student never likes exams. Although we know in order for us to be there, we have to pass.
100%.
So yeah, and then there's paper 4. Paper 4 is bookkeeping. So we call it legal accounting.
Okay.
I liked it. So what happened is when I was doing law school, if you remember what I said previously about the 1 year and the 6 months, when I was doing law school, I failed bookkeeping 4 times.
Okay.
Passed it
The fifth time, yeah, sure.
When I did my board exams, it was so easy. So I guess this is where
The repetition helped you understand it even more.
Yeah, but the difference is that law school one and the board exam one were not like really the same, but the concept is definitely the same because it's literally bookkeeping. So I failed it there, and exams. I killed this. I was cruising nicely.
Sure.
I killed it, and I literally killed it. When I say I killed it, listen, man, I'm still so proud of me. Even today, because I was like, an entire me, like after failing paper 1 4 or 5 times, and I'm here today. So yeah, so those are the 4 board exams.
Sure.
Very technical, because you don't even know what to expect. But if you want to study, if you want to pass, my strategy or the way I studied them, I read out loud. Even at 3 a.m., I wake up and read out loud. The people I stay with go through the most during exams.
Hectic.
And when I do revision, my husband went through it. I'll be like, baby, please wake up.
I think as husbands, we need to get, when you're being admitted as an attorney, you should be also there wearing the gown.
Yes.
Because even with my wife, when she's studying, we have to help her understand certain things. I'm like, okay, it seems like it's part of the package.
Union. Please. So 3 a.m., baby, please. Now, please, I'm going to cram the answer from the question paper. I must tell you the answer, and please tell me if what I'm saying is what you have in the memorandum. So my studying strategy is literally reading out loud and try write everything I've read.
Sure.
So, but it could be different with the fact that I have like a photogenic memory. So if I see something and I see it for the second time and the third time, remembering it is not difficult. So, but look, if you have to see it for the first and the second time and the third time, that's a lot of time. So I could be like delaying and wasting hours because I'm trying to see it as much as possible, so I will be able to. So literally, there's no magic. Study hard. Put in the hours.
Love reading. I think you actually mentioned it. You should love reading.
Yeah, you read. This time around, it won't even you loving to read or liking reading. This time is you having to read. So read and do past papers.
Sure.
Past papers are the best. Okay, at least they assisted. Do past papers. And also attend classes. If there is someone who is hosting a class, do not be scared to pay if you know you can't do it on your own. So yeah, and there are some free classes. I just won't market people. But there are some free classes where they just conduct those classes for free and you just get to attend. And sometimes it helps because they discuss questions that at times you do find in the question paper.
100%.
Even though the facts are not the same.
Okay.
But you kind of have an idea of how to answer. So yeah.
So now you're done and you start practicing as a legal advisor.
Yes.
Please go
currently.
through that journey for you and how it is.
Okay, so after I got admitted, I actually worked as an administrator
Yeah.
at UWC. Is my home. I love UWC.
Sure.
So I worked as an administrator at UWs for registration. So it was literally for 3 months. The contract was for 3 months just to assist with registration.
Yeah.
And after that, I actually didn't have a job. And I then applied, obviously, sent my CV to be a legal officer. So it's like legal officer / legal advisor, legal advisory role. So as a legal advisor, so I'm just trying to move from where I was because you're saying that journey. I'm not sure if you want me to talk about what I do as a legal advisor.
Yeah, please do.
Yeah. So I do everything. So I work for a legal insurance company.
Sure.
Legal insurance company. I won't mention names.
Now, I want to give someone a context. It's a funny context. It's like the guys who say, clientele life.
Yes.
Those ads. Do you need a lawyer?
Don't talk to me, talk to my lawyer.
Sure.
Yes.
Okay, so that's what you're busy doing, yeah.
So that's what I'm that lawyer.
Yeah.
That when they come for you, they shouldn't talk to you, they talk to your lawyer.
Sure.
So I do that. I don't have any area that I specialize in. I do everything. I do divorces, I draft wills, I do like any related civil law. I just don't do criminal law as yet. I think I only have 1 or 2 files criminal, but it's not, much. So I cannot do everything.
So you're an all-rounder.
Yes. So what happens is that when you have a policy with us or with the company and then you have a legal issue, you then reach out to us. So we are like in-house kind of attorneys.
100%.
We don't go to court. We do have attorneys on our panel that actually go to court, but we don't do courts. We literally just do.
So you're the person who gathers all the information to get the person who's going to court ready.
It depends. So if the matter, not all matters end up going to court. It could be that, for example, your service provider for your SIM card, I won't mention names, they're debiting you and they're not supposed to. Let's say, for example, you had a contract and you canceled it, but deductions are still going on. Then you come to us, don't talk to me, talk to my lawyer, and then you come to us and then I will ask you, when does this start? I will require the necessary documents in order to follow up, and then we give you like power of attorney to sign in order for us to reach out to the third party, and then I will then reach out to the service provider. I will also need proof of the deductions. I will also need proof that you indeed canceled the contract, because I don't want to be like, oh, hey, my client says you are only to find out that actually you did not cancel the contract.
100%.
I will also want the contract to see what you signed, what are the terms and conditions. So sometimes, not sometimes, all the time, I get to read terms and conditions of people's things that I never read for my own. So for myself.
Sure.
By a phone, I don't even read the terms and conditions, but now my job requires me to go through that.
Sure.
Yeah.
Sure.
Insurance companies like car insurance companies, you sign that thing because you're excited, you getting insurance, or you're buying a car, finance, blah blah blah. You just sign, you don't read, and now you have an issue and they refer you to a certain clause to say, but this is happening, and now you be like, I actually didn't read, and because I need to assist you, and I have to go through that. So that's what I'm currently doing. In short, I know that was in short, but
then I think that's good enough, because I think there's so many things that you can sort of do when you have your LLB.
100%.
Criminal law, like you were saying, commercial law. There's all these different things.
Yes.
I think before we close it off,
are we done already?
Almost there.
Okay. Feels short.
Yeah.
Okay.
So getting to, I know sort of after being an attorney, there's advocate. What's the difference between the two? And I think what's the difference between the two?
So before I tell you the difference, it's not attorney then advocate.
Okay.
It's we are both legal practitioners. Then I get to the difference.
Yeah.
So the difference between attorneys and advocates. So the first thing is there is no attorney then advocate.
Okay.
It's not like LLB then LLM LLD.
Okay, sure.
The difference is that attorneys do articles, advocates do pupillage.
100%.
So we can be both LLB graduates, same year, and then you go the advocacy route, I go the attorney route.
Oh, I see.
Yes, so we do 2 years of articles, they do 1 year of pupillage.
Okay.
And the difference, another difference or big difference is that they are like specialists, if I can put it that way. I don't really know how to explain it because I can also be an attorney and specialize in one, but they are more specialists, and we are kind of we do literally everything.
Almost everything, sure.
Yes, and also they appear in the higher courts. You qualify to be an advocate today, you appear in the court, appear in the Supreme Court of Appeal, you appear in the High Court, whereas with attorneys, we appear in the lower courts until such a time, I'm not sure, I can actually double check and see, but I think after some years, you can apply for an order of court in order to appear in the higher courts. But that, I'm not really sure. I've never really invested.
The process, how it works,
yes,
sure.
and also if it's even a thing. But I think I once saw something like that.
100%.
So that's the difference.
Awesome.
Yes.
Just before we get to the closing part, is maybe let me ask this question as a closing.
Okay.
What has been a recurring theme in your career, and how has it helped you?
Okay, so for me, it's been hard work. I don't want to lie, and like I said to you, it's not a matter of doing what I feel like doing. It's doing what must be done. That is not easy. Because doing what must be done means you have to wake up when you still feel like sleeping.
Discipline.
You have to leave a very nice fellowship somewhere because you have to do this thing. So putting in the work, like your other previous guest, I just forgot his name.
Giovanni.
Yes, the attorney.
Yes.
He said, put in the work.
Yeah.
Put in the hours. I could tell the way he was emphasizing, there is just no other way other than putting in the work and the sacrifice, determination, and just hard work. It's not easy. And sometimes you might find, but it's not easy. You just need to, so that has kept me going.
Sure.
Yes.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
For coming through. I think you're just a breath of fresh air, something a bit different, and
thank you.
And it's good. I'm actually going to check out your podcast.
You should, and subscribe.
Subscribe.
I'll be waiting.
Yeah, I think for to give context to the listeners is that I sort of found out today that you're also a podcaster, and I'm sort of happy for you.
Thank you.
And it's part of the spirit of the podcast, our spirit, that we always wish the best for our guests.
100.
And all the best moving forward.
Thank you.
And I think we'll find ways of sort of cross-pollinating with our listeners, and I'm sure my listeners will go subscribe to yours, and
they should.
Yours will come and subscribe to ours as well.
Yes.
But yeah, thank you so much. I think you probably one of the guests who made me understand law in detail, because at least you even went to the LLM part, and we are wishing that you go to the LLD.
Yes.
Soon,
so, Dr. Boyama in the making.
Let's go. So yeah, I think 100%. when that is done, please do come through and share your journey.
I will.
And it will be nice to have you and be helpful to the listeners as well.
Thank you very much.
Awesome.
I really appreciate being here. I don't want to take over, but yes, please do subscribe, guys. Sure. Support him. And I also love your setup is amazing.
Thank you.
Listen,
so much.
when I watched, because when you told me I have to come, I was like, let me go through this man's page because I really need to know what he's going to ask me.
Sure.
It's clean.
Thank you.
I love it. And may God bless you.
Amen.
I mean, how can we talk without saying God must bless you?
Yes, we totally agree. Thank you so much. And keep well and all the best.
Thank you.
Awesome.
Peace.
Adios. Thank you so much for listening to this episode. I appreciate you taking time and tuning in and be part of our community. We get to share ideas, stories, and perspectives through this podcast. I hope you enjoyed it and found something valuable in it. Don't forget to subscribe and share with your family and friends. I look forward to connecting with you in the next episode. Until then, take care. This is Stega Podcast signing out. See you next time.